Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Tonight, you'll hear Charles Boyer, Greer Garson, and Lionel Atwell in History is Made at Night. Myrna Loy was to have been with us tonight, but unfortunately, she spent the past week in the Cedars of Lebanon Hospital fighting a bad case of the flu. Greer Garson, star of Pride and Prejudice and Goodbye, Mr. Chips, has offered to pinch hit for Myrna. This will be Miss Garson's first radio appearance in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's people like Greer Garson who make me proud to be a member of the motion picture industry and a part of the Star's own theater. Because their appearances here make it possible for Gulf to contribute so generously to the vital work of the Motion Picture Relief Fund. And now Frank Tours, conducting Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra, gives the cue for the opening theme and our play begins. Courtroom in Rio de Janeiro. The trial is the case of the people versus Paul Donay. Irene Vale, wife of the millionaire ship owner Bruce Vale, is on the witness stand. Preliminary questioning over, the prosecutor...
Mrs. Vale, you said that your purpose in coming here to Rio de Janeiro in March of the year 1939 was to obtain a divorce from your husband, Bruce Vale.
Yes.
Will you tell us, Mrs. Vale, in your own words, what took place in your bedroom at the Hotel Encanto on the night of April 2nd, 1939?
It was late, about midnight. I thought I heard a slight noise outside on the balcony. I got up to close and lock the French window, which was standing open, when I heard the door of my room open and close softly. I turned. It was Max Brodsky, my husband's chauffeur. I demanded to know by what right. Get out of my room, Max. You know what will happen to you when I tell my husband about this?
Your husband is paying me $1,000 for this little visit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Vale will be here in just a moment with a witness.
A witness? To what?
To the love affair between you and his chauffeur.
You're lying. Even Bruce wouldn't stoop to a trick like this.
With such evidence in his hands, he certainly will be glad to drop your divorce proceedings against him, madame.
Max, you can't go through with this.
For $1,000? Oh, yes, madame.
Max, look, I'll give you my pearls. They're worth 10 times what he's paying you.
Your husband must be coming up the hall. Come, madame, we must look at the one very much in love.
Max, no, I beg you.
No, madame, it's so distasteful.
Apparently it is.
Huh? Who said that?
I did. I was on the balcony outside. The French window was open, so I came in.
What were you doing on the balcony?
I hope you forgive my intrusion, madame, but I was so intrigued by your conversation with this man, I had to come in.
Well, get out again. I have a gun here.
Really?
What do you want?
It's pleasant something. Well, I don't think it will trouble you for a while, madame.
Who are you?
Does it matter? The point is... Wait, son of a...
Harry! Step in, detective. Well, Irene, I'm sorry.
No noise, gentlemen.
What's going on here?
Quiet. I shoot.
Mr. Vale, that's not Browski. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Quiet, I said. Now, madame, I'll take your pearl.
Oh, so you're a thief.
And your other jewels from the dressing table, please. Hurry. Thank you very much. Now, let me see. Something will have to... yes, I got it. You two gentlemen will step inside, please. Now, look here. I said step inside. Thank you.
You're not going to leave him in there.
Come down. We leave by the balcony.
Where are we going?
How should I know? Until we found a cab. Cigarette, madam?
No, thanks.
What's the matter?
I thought you had a gun in that pocket.
Oh, no. Just a cigarette case. And your pearls. Well, I think it might be safer for you to wear them.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Huh? Like this. You see? Now, on your throat. Yes, that's better. And now your other jewels. I'll wrap them up in my handkerchief. Side hands. Tightly. Yes. Now give them all back again.
Oh,
What you want them?
but you're a thief.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you should be. It so happens a friend of mine has the suite next to yours at the hotel. I was putting him to bed. Yes, he hadn't too much to drink. And I couldn't help but overhear you and the chauffeur.
Oh.
So you see, I only kidnapped you to return your jewels.
Oh. But why did you take them in the first place?
Why? Well, if your husband and his detective didn't think I was a thief, I believe my presence would have compromised you as much as the chauffeur's.
Oh, I'm really awfully sorry. I'm very stupid.
I forgive you.
It was very kind of you.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was most kind. Where are you taking me?
Oh, well, I thought you would want to do a little thinking before you went back to face them. We're just riding around.
Oh. Well, all I can seem to say is, oh. Oh, I've got to celebrate. Would you buy me a drink?
That's a privilege.
Oh, where we go?
Well, there's only one place we could go. Driver, to Cesar's, the Café Azul.
Oh, this is wonderful. A restaurant all to ourselves and an orchestra playing just for us. How did you manage it?
I promised them all the Pink Cat 21 they could drink.
Pink Cat? Is that what you're drinking?
Uh-huh.
Sweet name.
What are you thinking?
Well, it just occurred to me. I don't even know your name. What is it?
Paul, and yours?
Eileen.
Hello.
How do you do?
Not Pink Cat?
Thank you.
You come from America?
Massachusetts.
Oh, you are the first Massachusetts I've ever met.
Where do you live?
Anywhere I am.
Oh, to be free like that.
You're not free? Oh, no, of course not. Your husband.
He's insanely jealous because I just don't love him anymore.
You love someone else?
Love? I wish I could tell you what I really think of love. It makes me sick. I mean, really sick. Ah,
You're right.
you agree with me?
Agree? Huh. Love is a lie. What does it mean to say, I love you with all my heart, when the heart is just a bump?
Absolutely.
Just a stupid habit of weak people.
Shake, pal.
What, pal? What is pal?
Friend.
Oh, shake pal. Let's have a drink on that.
We will. But haven't you forgotten something?
What?
The Pink Cat music. Don't you like to dance?
Shall we?
We shall. Do you mind if I take off my shoes?
No. Do they do that in Massachusetts?
I've always wanted to, but I never had a cafe all to myself.
Very well. Tonight you dance without shoes.
Until the orchestra falls asleep. There he goes, Paul. That's our last musician.
I know. They all said, let's go to sleep. Those people want to go home.
Perhaps we'd better. It's nearly morning.
Cesar? Well, what is finished?
Finished, but Madame
I
play.
couldn't eat another bite, Cesar.
But Madame Lobster Cardinal à la César and salad chiffonade, they are always finished to the last little piece. And I know you are in love.
In love?
Love is like that. Always the same.
Did you hear what he said, Paul?
Yes, that's funny. We are in love, so we can't eat.
Oh, my beloved.
Think of it, to be in love and not know it.
It's a dream.
I see. It's the moon, laced with stars. We couldn't live without each other.
We couldn't breathe.
And Irene, it will always be like this.
Always and always.
And we'll live on an island, all alone.
Just you and I.
Yes, my darling.
An island in the middle of the sea.
And do you know what we'll do when we get there?
What do we do when we get there?
Nothing. We won't have to.
I know. We won't have to say, I love you. We won't have to say anything. Just look at the sea
And listen to it.
until we die. Oh, Paul,
What is it? What is it, my dear?
I don't know. Only somewhere we must have stopped joking.
Oh, my darling.
Hold me close. Hold me very close. Oh, Bruce. You're still here?
Still here. I've been half mad with worry. Every policeman in Rio's been looking for you. Are you all right?
Oh, of course, I'm fine. Why are you looking at me like that?
You, my dear. I'm looking at your pearl. What have I forgot? That Steve took your necklace, didn't he? I saw him with my own eyes. And he had no reason to get it back. Would he?
Steve, Bruce.
He always would. Perhaps he didn't happen to be a thief. I almost thought there was another man. Now I know.
Do you?
Yes. And I also know something else. I know that you're going to be Mrs. Bruce Vale again. You're going to be a real wife.
You can't frighten me into coming back. Not with a silly little thing like tonight.
Well, I wouldn't call it silly, darling. You see, your chauffeur, Max, is dead.
Yes,
Killed by the man you love.
you must be mad.
You're frightened. You're frightened for him.
They'll never find him.
I'll find him if I have to hire every detective in the world.
Max is dead. It's your fault, and you know it.
Yes, but do the police know it? Now, be sensible, Irene. I have enough influence to keep this little hole mess out of the paper. This morning at 10, I'm sailing to New York. If you love your thief well enough, you'll be on board.
And if I'm not?
It's his life if you stay in Rio or go through with the divorce. Or his safety if you come back with me. Well,
You leave me little choice, Bruce. I'll be on the boat. Now get out. Get out!
King cap of champagne for the whole orchestra. Dancing half the night with a silly little girl who takes off her shoes.
Cesar, you are the best chef in Rio, but you are as romantic as yesterday's spaghetti.
And you Paul are acting like a loveted schoolboy instead of the greatest head waiter in South America.
I'm going to marry her, Cesar, after she gets a divorce, of course.
Have you told her that you are a head waiter?
No, not yet.
You have known her how long?
Oh, forever. It's 11 o'clock last night.
Do you know who she is?
Her name is Irene. I don't know the rest of it. I don't know.
I know the rest of it. She's Mrs. Bruce Vale.
What?
She's the wife of the greatest thing she owned.
How did you find that out?
Here is her picture on the front page of the morning paper.
What does it say about her? Let me see.
I didn't read it. No, please, Paul. It's...
Cesar, listen.
Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Vale, you sailed early this morning from New York. Cesar, she's gone.
Good. I wish she'd gone before you met her.
Something has happened. She wouldn't have left like this without some explanation. She's in trouble, Cesar.
Forget her.
No, I'm going after her on the next boat.
Are you crazy? What about the cafe? What about me? Are you going to let this little girl come between us?
I can't waste time arguing, Cesar. I've got to pack.
Paul,
What?
you are the biggest fool in the world. Except me.
What do you mean?
I'm going with you.
Cesar, you're crazy.
No, I'm going with you.
All right, we're both crazy. And we'll both go to New York. And so ends Act One of our Gulf Theater play for tonight. During a few seconds before Act Two begins, Bud Easton wants to tell you how to laugh at winter.
Now's the time to get your car ready for winter with Gulf's complete Winter Guard service. With Gulf Winter Guard service, your car will be thoroughly protected against cold weather at every vital point. Your radiator will be refilled with Gulf's new permanent type antifreeze, an antifreeze that can't boil away even during warm spells. Next, your transmission and differential will be kept working smoothly and easily with special Gulf Flex lubricant. Your crankcase will be filled with Gulf Pride motor oil, the motor oil that flows freely. And finally, your good Gulf dealer will fill your gas tank with a new stepped-up Gulf no-NOx gasoline. That means you'll get real quick starting. So drive in tomorrow at your local good Gulf dealers, get Gulf Winter Guard service, and then laugh at winter.
And now the stage of our Gulf Theater is set for the second act of tonight's play, Victory is Made at Night, starring Greer Garson as Irene Vale, Charles Boyer as Paul Dene, and Lionel Atwill as Bruce Vale. Recess over, the court has been called to order, and Paul Dene has replaced Mrs. Vale on the stand. The prosecutor is talking.
Donay, you testified that you did not know the chauffeur was dead, or that Mr. Vale had forced his wife to return to New York under the threat of exposing you to the police as the murderer.
That's right.
And then you followed her to New York?
Yes, I followed on the next boat. I and my good friend Cesar. As soon as the boat docked, I began my search for her. It was not easy. A strange city, strange country. 2 months went by, and I didn't find her. And then, one day, just when I was most discouraged...
I've got it. I've got it.
God, what, Paul? What is it?
Listen, if I can find her, I will make her find me.
Find you?
Look, there is a restaurant for sale. Victor is the name. We can get it for a song.
But, Paul, you don't want
it. You and I. The finest food, the finest service. Another Cafe Azul. Only smarter, more expensive. Everyone will come to dine. And she'll come too, Cesar. Senorita.
But, Paul, how can you be so sure?
Don't ask me how. I know. That's all. She's here. Somewhere. Sometime I'll find her.
Come in, Irene. I've been expecting you. Well, this is quite an occasion. Loving wife consents to visit her husband after an absence of 4 months.
Your message said it was important, Bruce. What did you want to talk about?
About the man you loved and left behind in Rio.
What about him?
He has been caught by the police.
Caught? Oh, no.
I received his cablegram yesterday. Murderer of your chauffeur indicted and awaiting trial. Evidence conclusive, but want your testimony.
What are you going to do?
That still depends on you. If I go to Rio alone, I'll simply identify him as the man who killed Max. In that case, there seems no shadow of a doubt that what your sweetheart will be convicted and hanged.
And if I go to Rio with you?
If you go with me, and not run out of me as you did before, then I'll refuse to make identification. You have a very good chance of going free. Well, what do you say?
I can't fight you, Bruce.
I'm very glad, my dear. If you could realize how much I love you, you would see I'm only fighting for our future life together.
What time does the plane leave?
11. Shall we dine together before leaving?
If that's what you want.
Good. We'll go to that new place everyone's talking about. Victor's, I think it's called.
Oh, this is a beautiful place.
I thought you'd like it. Excuse me a moment while I check my things.
All right.
Good evening, madam. Irene.
Paul.
Oh, darling.
Paul.
I've waited for this moment.
Paul, don't talk.
Eh?
Pretend you don't know me.
What's Irene?
Here he comes.
All right, dear. I'm ready. Oh, are you the head waiter?
Yes, sir.
A nice table for my wife and myself.
Yes, sir. This way, madam.
Irene, what is it? What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
What's to do?
You wouldn't understand.
Will this table do, sir?
Yes, excellent. What's your name?
Paul, sir.
Paul. My wife and I are celebrating a second honeymoon this evening. It's a special occasion that deserves an excellent menu. Have you any suggestions?
Yes, sir. May I suggest lobster cardinal à la César, salad chiffonade, being cap champagne 1921, perhaps? Madame would like that.
It sounds wonderful. Just right for a romantic moment.
Yes, I think that Madame will find it quite appropriate for a second honeymoon.
Oh, please. It's not so good to drink so much.
Laugh at me, César. Laugh. Why not? Imagine, a head waiter. Is there anything more comical than a head waiter in love?
Forget her, Paul. Put her out of your life.
She's already gone. Up to you with her husband on the clipper. I heard them talking.
I wonder why she came back.
Right? But where?
Back here. She's upstairs in the dining room away.
Paul.
What is Madame's pleasure?
Oh, don't be like that. Take that napkin off your arm and sit down here.
Oh, but I'm afraid Madame forgets herself. I am merely a waiter.
A head waiter.
Why don't you laugh, Mrs. Bale? It'd be so funny to find your hero of the night, a head waiter.
I wasn't laughing at you tonight. I was laughing because I was happy. For the first time in months. Of course, some people cry when they're happy. Would you want me to cry?
Oh, of course not, but what did you run away from Rio? Why have I never heard from you?
Oh, because... Oh, Paul, you've got to trust me. I can't tell you why, not now.
But why did you come back?
Because I love you. I'd have come back sooner. Only I had to make sure that Bruce was on the clipper and on his way to Rio.
But I want to know.
Not now, Paul. Please.
All right.
Oh, if you only knew what it means to be here with you now, alone and free. My first happy moment since that night in Rio. Please, Paul, put your arms around me.
Oh, darling.
Now, there's only one thing more to make it perfect.
What is that?
I want to dance.
With or without shoes, madam?
I want to dance all night. And then when the sun is up, I want to walk home. Just you and I, Paul. Just you and I.
Tired?
A little.
It is almost morning. Let's sit on that bench and watch your sun come up.
Paul, it's tomorrow.
Yes, darling.
It's ours. Ours tomorrow.
Belongs to us. No one else.
Darling, there's so much I want to know about you. Things that take years of talking and being together.
What sort of things?
What kind of a boy you were. Were you always late for school?
Oh, not always, but often. I'll show you the schoolhouse when we go back to Rio.
Oh, no, not to Rio.
Oh, Massachusetts, then?
No. Let's go to Tahiti, the South Sea.
You're not serious.
A little island in the middle of the sea. Remember? We dish and swim and eat and sleep and not say anything at all.
Well, maybe. After we go back to Rio and you get your divorce.
We can't go back to Rio.
Why not?
Rio's past. Everything. street, every house, every cafe will remind me how unhappy I was there.
Oh, not marry you. I'll make you forget the past.
No, Paul, please. We can't go back.
Why do you keep on saying that? As if we were exiles, criminals.
We are.
Oh, no. You're like a child. You make up stories.
I wish it were a story. Or maybe it is. Maybe it never happened. Maybe that chauffeur never came into my room. Maybe you never struck him. Maybe he didn't die. Do you see now why we can't go back?
You mean the police are looking for me?
No, not now. But if anything goes wrong at the trial...
Sir? What are you trying to tell me? Have they arrested someone else?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me?
Paul, you're not thinking. No, you mustn't. You can't go back. This man they've arrested, he must be a known thief, some criminal.
Human being.
But it's his life against ours. 2 against 1. We've only just begun to
I'll
live.
get the first boat sailing for you.
Oh, I might have known. I might have known what you'd do. That's why I love you so much.
No. No, don't. Sorry.
Sun's up. Our night's over. Please, Paul, take me home.
So, Joanna, I came back here to you and gave myself up to the authorities. Mrs. Vale insisted on coming with me. That is the whole story. The true story.
Thank you, Mr. Donay. You may step down from the witness stand. Your Honor, gentlemen of the jury, in presenting the state's case against Paul Donay, we have the sworn testimony of the husband, Bruce Vale, that Paul Donay... Your Honor, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Mr. Vale?
I believe I have something to add to the testimony. It has a great bearing on this case.
What is it, Mr. Vale?
I wish to tell the court and the jury that your whole case against Paul Donay is built on perjured testimony. My story on the stand was a lie from start to finish. I hired Browski to frame my wife. When Donay came to his assistance, Browski pulled the gun. Donay struck him in self-defense. Browski, when he fell, hit his head on one of the andirons. I have mistakenly believed that with Paul Donay out of the way, Mrs. Vale would come back to me. Hearing them tell their stories, watching their faces, I see very clearly now that even if Paul Donay were dead, he would be far, far closer to her than I could ever be living. I told my wife once that I was fighting for our life together. And now I know that I can't fight a love like theirs. Let them go. Let them live.
It's good to see you.
It's been 3 whole months, Mrs. Vale.
The whole century. And it's not Mrs. Vale any longer. The divorce was granted yesterday. Didn't you get my telegram?
What do you think I'm here today? Come, we have to hurry. Our boat sails from San Francisco tomorrow.
Boat? Where are we going?
What, don't you remember? That island in the South Seas where we can live all alone. And you can dance all day and all night without shoes.
Oh, and fish and swim, eat and sleep. And not say anything at all.
You won't even have to say, I love you.
Oh, you must say that, Paul. Say it often. Say it now.
I love you. You darling, you Massachusetts. I love you. I love you.
Thank you, Charles Boyer, Greer Garson, and Lionel Atwell. You gave splendid performance.
Boy, Roger, do I wish I were in pictures with Greer Garson. Miss Garson, do you think I could be a movie star?
I don't know, Bud. Can you act?
Well, there's a difference of opinion. I say yes. But, you know, even as a boy on our farm, I used to recite Shakespeare to our horses.
What did they say?
Nay. Well, you know, that's what makes me wonder. They were smart horses and well matched. All those horses really pulled together. Both did their part in getting the load started and keeping it rolling. And, you know, that's the kind of teamwork a motorist needs between his gasoline and his motor oil to get his engine started on cold mornings. That's why so many car owners are using both Gulf Pride motor oil and Gulf No-Nox gasoline during the winter months. the new stepped-up Gulf No-Knox fires quickly at the first spin of the starter. And winter-grade Gulf Pride motor oil flows freely, even at below zero temperature, so that your motor can spin easily. Stepped-up Gulf No-Knox and Gulf Pride motor oil work as a team to save you the expense and the trouble of a car that just won't start. So stop tomorrow at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc. With gas and oil, as well as with lubrication, antifreeze, and in many other ways, your good Gulf dealer helps you to laugh at winter.
Folks, just before we go, let's remember that tomorrow is Armistice Day. Looking back, it doesn't seem so long ago since the whole world was celebrating Armistice Day. Today, for most of the world, tomorrow's observance of this anniversary is an empty gesture. But for us, here in America, tomorrow takes on a new and even greater significance. It stands for the two things we all want most, freedom and security. Here in this country, we have those two things. No one tells us what we can read and what we cannot. No one tells us what we must listen to and what we must not. And the smoke over our cities is the smoke of things being built, not of things being destroyed. This is something that has been made possible for us largely by the American way of doing things, by the fact that this nation can forget its differences and disagreements and work together toward a common goal. Ladies and gentlemen, your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the thousands of Gulf employees throughout the country are proud to be a part of the American way. Play from the stage of the Gulf Theater is the story of Hollywood itself. The story of how an ordinary girl becomes a glamorous star through the magic of motion pictures. All the drama and conflict and excitement of Hollywood goes into the Gulf Theater production of A Star is Born, with a great cast headed by Loretta Young, Adolphe Manjou, and Burgess Meredith. Until then, this is Roger Pryor saying good night, everybody, for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer.
Loretta Young, Adolphe Manjou, Burgess Meredith.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor. Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to another gala evening here in the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Tonight, the Gulf Theater brings you Loretta Young, Adolphe Manjou, and Burgess Meredith in the famous motion picture success, A Star is Born. Loretta Young came back to Hollywood from a vacation in New York especially to be with us tonight. That'll give you some idea of just how much the stars think of the Gulf Theater. It's their own theater. They want to appear here in the Gulf Theater because, in doing so, they're doing their part for a truly worthy cause. You see, in return for their appearances here, Gulf gives generously to the Motion Picture Relief Fund to help build a home that will take care of the needy of the entire picture industry. And here come our stars for tonight. Adolphe Manjou and Burgess Meredith escorting lovely Loretta Young to the Gulf microphone. Frank Tours, conducting Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra, brings down his baton, and the show is on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oliver Niles, and my business is plotting stars in their courses.
Which means you're Oliver Niles, the well-known producer.
Oh, Oliver Niles is the great producer, Mr. Pryor. Why be so modest? Did I ever tell you about the time that Variety said... Well, that's another story. The one I intend relating tonight is of a star who rose and of a star who fell. And their names are Vicky Lester and Norman Maine. Norman was the most popular romantic leading man of his day. And at the time my story begins, he was at the height of a brilliant career. His only faults were that he was too kind, too generous, and too willing to say yes to every invitation. I remember distinctly the first time I called him to task for...
Well, go ahead, Oliver. Get it off
your chest. I guess I got it coming to me.
Now, look, Norman, I don't want to preach, but I'm trying to make pictures with you. And...
Now, listen, Niles. You're talking to Norman Maine. I'm the biggest box office darling in the industry.
Now, that may be, Norman, but the point is that I and all your other real friends can't stand seeing you fall apart.
Fall apart? That's no way to talk, Oliver. Now, if you'd said I was disintegrating.
Norman, I'm serious.
All right, Doctor. Let's hear my condition.
All right, you're late on the set. You can't remember your lines. The studio wastes hours on account of your hangovers. And all because you've got to have a good time every day, every night.
Now, listen, Oliver. You're a swell guy, and let me tell you something. I'll be ready for curtains whenever the time comes. And for my epitaph, you can use one of those signs they hang over these pinball games in the drugstores.
What's that?
Good for amusement only.
Well, let's forget Norman Maine for the moment and bring into focus a star as yet unrisen, named Esther Blodgett. Esther was just another pretty girl in that great army of ambitious, hopeful youngsters who arrive in Hollywood every year.
We only handle extras, Miss Blodgett. Who told you to come to Central Casting Office?
A gateman out at one of the studios.
How long have you been in Hollywood?
Almost 2 months. I haven't been able to get a part, not even a small one. You see, everything's very quiet just now, so until things pick up, I'd like to register here for extra work.
We haven't put any new names on our register in over 2 years.
Why not?
Well, the best reason is there are no jobs. My advice to you is go home.
Oh, I couldn't give up. Well, I knew it wouldn't be easy to get started. After all, every artist has to expect indifference just at first.
Miss Blodgett, do you see all those little lights flashing on that switchboard out there?
Yes.
Those are people calling for jobs. Every one of those little lights thinks it's going to be a star. Do you realize what your chances are? Only 1 in 100,000.
Yes, but don't you see? Maybe I'm that one.
You're wondering how my two stars in their separate orbits ever met. Well, it was quite unexpected. Esther was down to her last few dollars. So she became a waitress at parties given by movie people to celebrate a marriage, a divorce, a new baby, or a new picture. One night, Esther was passing through the crowd with her tray of hors d'oeuvres, trying out some impersonations in the hope that some director might notice.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Do you care for some hors d'oeuvres? They're delicious, really they are.
I beg pardon? Oh, yes, thank you, miss.
Well, I must be going now. Really, I must.
What's the matter with her? Screwy? Too bad. Nice-looking girl, too. What'll it be, Mr. Maine?
Hello, Joe. Scotch and soda, double.
Excuse it, please. Do you think you want some of these?
Well, look who's here.
I think I'll go home now. I want to be alone.
Now, wait a minute. Don't tell me. I can guess. Garble?
Well, yes. I mean, no. Would you care for some hors d'oeuvres?
No, thanks. I'm on a liquid diet.
Oh, well, in that case, then I'll...
No. Don't go away. I just remembered that this is the night I fall off my diet.
Oh, they're caviar.
They are, really? Well, now, let me see. Which one would you take?
Well, perhaps it'd be easier if you looked at the tray instead of me.
No, I'm sorry, but I couldn't. My heart would never forgive my eyes. Tell me, have I had too much to drink, or are you very beautiful?
You've had too much to drink. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have my work to do in the serving.
Now, wait a minute. Don't leave me like this.
Oh, I must now. No, please, let me go.
No, never. I mean to follow you into the ends of the earth, to the ends of time, even to the... Well, what's this place called?
Serving pantry.
Yes, even to follow you to the ends of the serving pantry. So what do we do now? Dish up some more hors d'oeuvres here?
Well, I don't know what you're going to do, but I have to wash some dishes.
Fine. I love to wash dishes. What's your name?
Esther Blodgett.
Esther Blodgett. My name's Norman Maine.
I know. Well, here's a towel, and there's a dish if you really want to work.
Thank you. Now, let me see. What are you smiling about?
I was just thinking about all your fans. How surprised they'd be if they could see you now.
Yes, they don't know my finer side.
They'd be pretty envious of me, meeting you in person.
What about you? Huh? Are you disappointed in me?
Yes.
What?
Oh,
no.
Look what you've done.
Well, a little debris makes this room look lived in.
Oh,
Tell me, why are you disappointed in me?
because. Are you ready for another plate?
No, why because?
Just because. Now, do be careful of that one. It's very big, and so it must be very
Why
thin.
because? Why are you disappointed?
Well,
What?
I hope you won't be angry.
No.
But I think you drink too much.
No.
Now you've done...
No, that slipped right out of my hand.
I'll never be able to explain
No, you
this.
won't have to. Come on, let's get out of here.
I can't. The dishes aren't finished yet.
Oh, yes, they are. Yeah, you see, there aren't any more dishes to do. Let's go. Come on, out the back way before they catch it.
Well, this is where I live.
No, now, you can't go in yet.
Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I must go in.
Why, you said you wanted to see Hollywood.
But I have seen Hollywood. And Santa Monica, and Beverly Hills, and even Long Beach.
Well, what about the rest of Southern California? You can't slide Coronado and Palm Springs and Arrowhead.
I'm afraid I must, really. Good night, and thanks.
No, wait a minute.
Yes?
You realize that all I know about you is that you're crazy enough to want to get into pictures.
Why is it crazy? Look at you.
Yes, that's what I mean. Now, look, I'd kind of like to go into this matter a little more thoroughly. Let's go up to my place and talk it over.
Oh, no, thank you very much, but I really must say good night.
Wait a minute. At least I can see it at the door, can I?
All right.
Has anyone ever told you that you're lovely?
I don't think so.
Well, now you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good night.
Good night. Wait a minute, will you?
Yeah?
Do you mind if I take just one more look at you? I was wrong. You're not just lovely, you're enchanting. When will I see you again?
I don't know. Maybe never.
Why not?
Well, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you won't even remember my name. I'll be the mysterious Miss X in your hangover.
What makes you think that?
Oh, because you're a great star. You've had a great deal too much to drink. And I'm not even a bit player. Why, I'm even less than an extra.
You don't mean that that's all that's standing between us?
Well, isn't that enough?
Oh, I thought this was something serious. Look, can you meet me at the studio at 10 in the morning?
I guess so. Why?
All right. Now, I'll get you the best makeup man, the best director, the best leading man. That's me. And you'll have the best screen test that ever came out of any studio.
A screen test? Oh, you're not joking. You really mean
I mean that if you want your chance to be a star, why, here it is.
Oh, but I do. I want that more than anything else in the world.
Well, then go to bed, Esther. Go to sleep and dream of dragon cameras with Klieg-light eyes, of canvas castles and a make-believe moon. Yes, and while you're about it, you might as well pick out your spot in a make-believe sky. For tomorrow, you start to shine.
Down comes the curtain on Act One of the Gulf Theater production, A Star is Born. During the brief intermission before the Gulf curtain rises again, Bud Heaston wants to mention something that's been front-page news all week. Now, go right ahead, Bud.
Thanks, Raj. Snow, sleet, and below freezing temperature have just given all of us proof that Old Man Winter has at last launched his annual attack against the family automobile. Well, there was a time when that meant a lot of worry about the radiator, about the stiff grease in the transmission and differential, about how your car would stand the winter in general. But this year, you'll find the answer to cold weather in Gulf's Winter Guard service. Your good Gulf dealer is ready to fill the radiator with this new Gulf antifreeze, a permanent type antifreeze that can't boil away even during warm spells. He makes your gears and transmission work free and easy with winter-grade Gulf lubricants. And he uses special Gulf Flex lubricants on the chassis so that your car rides better and steers better. For a really thorough preparation for cold weather, such as we've just been having, get Gulf Winter Guard service at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc.
And now the curtain of our Gulf Theater is ready to rise on the second act of A Star is Born. Starring Loretta Young as Esther Blodgett, Burgess Meredith as Norman Maine, and Adolphe Manjou as Oliver Niles, the producer who was telling our story.
Let me see. I've told you how Esther Blodgett came to Hollywood and how she met Norman Maine. Norman talked me into giving her a screen test. Contrary to my expectations, my cameramen, makeup artists, and directors all proclaimed Esther a great discovery. And so our publicity department went to work, with all the magic at its command, to announce the star.
Born in a trapper's hut high up in the Rockies, she dreamed of the footlights as a lonely child playing amidst the mountain wildflowers. We present Vicki Lester. What do you think of that, Miss Blodgett?
Oh, she sounds wonderful. I'd love to meet her. Who is she?
Oh, didn't we tell you? You've got a new name. You're Vicki Lester.
Vicki Lester.
What? We'll call that a take.
That's a good scene, Mike.
Well, thanks, Mr. Niles. Say, that Vicki Lester's good enough to be featured, don't you think?
Featured? Don't be silly. Vicki Lester's going to be my next star.
Picture, all right.
Oh, I thought she was much better than Maine was.
Oh, Maine's not so bad, but it's Vicki Lester they'll go to see.
Isn't she darling?
Oh, that Lester kid's a gold mine.
Didn't you like Norman Maine?
Was he in it?
The Trocadero. Isn't it wonderful, Norman? I used to read about it in the fan magazines. I never dreamed I'd be here.
Well, here you are, with Hollywood at your feet.
Those lights down there.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It's like a crazy quilt.
Yeah, no, it's not a crazy quilt. It's a carpet spread for you, Esther.
Oh.
A carpet will give you anything in the world that you want. Because tonight you've become a star. I hope it'll make you happy.
Why, hasn't it you?
Me? No. I don't know. I've had all the material things that are supposed to make you happy. You know, there's one thing that I've never had. And lots of times I told myself I'd found it, but I always knew that I was lying. Still, I've never stopped looking for it.
Maybe it'll come, Norman.
I think it has come, Esther. If only it weren't too late.
Oh, but it's not too late.
Yes.
Norman, it's not. You can have anything in this world if you only wish hard enough.
Can I? Are you sure, Esther?
Oh, yes, Norman, I'm very sure.
Darling, will you marry me?
No. Thank you.
Why not?
Well, because you're not dependable. You throw away your money and you drink too much.
Suppose I quit drinking and I save my money and become absolutely dependable on all occasions.
Would you do all that for me if I said I'd marry you?
Oh, yes.
Do you mean it?
No. No, but neither did you mean it when you said that you wouldn't marry me.
Oh, darling.
Their wedding was as simple as a three-ring circus and as quiet as New Year's Eve in Times Square. After their honeymoon, which was a race between them and crowds of fans and autograph hunters, I went out to their Brentwood house to see them.
Well, sit down, Oliver. The reporters have cornered Esther there. I'll do the honors. Have a drink?
Oh, thanks. Too early, Norman.
Well, I hate to drink alone, but it's better than being sober, isn't it? How's the dividend situation?
Well, we may show $2 million on the quarter.
Is that right? The Enchanted Hour's a big hit, eh?
Oh, yes. They raved about Esther.
What about me?
Oh, let's talk about it some other time, Norman.
No, let's talk about that right now. Look here, do you think I'm slipping?
Can you take it?
Go ahead.
Your tense is wrong. You're not slipping. You've slipped.
Oh, my fan mail's still big.
Well, fans will write anybody for a photograph. The stamp only costs 3 cents.
I see. That makes them cheaper than wallpaper. Look, Oliver, I do know what you mean. But just wait, will you, till I do this next picture with Esther? They'll say that I'm better than I ever was.
Well, now, That's really what I came out here about, Norman. There isn't anything for you in Esther's next picture. I've more or less planned to star her in a picture of her own.
I see.
I'm sorry, Norman. I want you to understand this is not my personal decision.
Yes.
I merely represent stockholders. I'm sorry.
No, now, don't be. Don't be, Oliver. Remember, I told you once that I'd be ready for curtains when my time came. Well, now that it's here, I can bow out gracefully. Don't worry. Come on now. Fill up a glass. We'll drink to the bitter dregs. As Norman Maine is dead, long live Mr. Vicky Lester.
Norman was true to his word. He gave the spotlights and the applause to Esther, but the hurt burned deep into his soul. He took to disappearing for days at a time, reappearing a drunken, sodden, unshaven wreck. But Esther's love for Norman never wavered, not even when he disappeared the night of the Academy Award dinner and she had to attend without him.
Now we pay honor to the lady, or rather, one lady. We present to her this statuette, the Academy Award for the finest performance of the year, Miss Vicky Lester.
Go on, Vicky, stand up.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and all the people who have been so kind and generous to me. When something like this happens and you try to tell Norman.
Hey, it's a very pretty speech.
Norman.
Sit down, Norman. You're drunk.
No, I want to make a speech.
Oh, no, darling, not now. You're not well. Come on, darling, let's go.
Let me alone. I want to make a speech. Gentlemen of the Academy and fellow suckers.
Oh, darling, don't.
I got one of these statues once for the best performance, and it doesn't mean a thing. What I want's a special award. I want a statue for the worst performance of the year.
Darling, please.
And what I'm here to find out is, do I get it or don't I? Yes or no?
Norman.
He's passed out cold.
Please, Oliver, help me. We've got to get him home.
Well, after Norman passed out at the Academy dinner, Esther sent him to hospitals and sanitariums. But each time he was released as cured, he was worse than when he went in. The final straw, as far as I was concerned, was the front page publicity they received when he was arrested as an incurable alcoholic, and the court remanded him to the custody of his wife. The next day, I went down to their beach house in Malibu. Well?
He's very weak and very tired. He's been in the next room sleeping nearly all day.
Do you still love him, Esther? Or do you feel sorry for him?
I think I love him better than life. So now I'm going to stay with him and try to help him. I can't make any more pictures, Oliver.
What do you mean?
I mean that I'm going away for good, Norman.
But you can't do that. You've just reached the top. And you've worked so hard to get there.
Yes, but you and Norman have worked harder to help me. I thought it all out, Oliver. Maybe it's still not too late to go away with him and start all over again somewhere.
But it's your life you're giving up, Esther.
Yes, so I can try to give Norman back his. Well, this is goodbye, Oliver. It's really goodbye. There won't be any more Vicky Lester.
What? Well, goodbye, Vicky Lester. You were a swell person. And good luck, Mrs. Norman Maine.
Thank you.
You let me know how you come out.
It'll come out. Oh, please, God, it's got to come out. Norman. Well, darling, I thought you were in the next room.
Hello, Esther. Oh, I came out a little while ago to watch the sunset there on the water. I fell asleep on this chair.
Oh. Well, Oliver just
Yes,
left, dear. And
how is the new story?
Well, there isn't going to be any new story. There isn't ever going to be any new story, Norman.
There isn't?
No, I haven't told you before, but... Oh, darling, if you only knew how long I've been wanting to get away from the whole tiresome mess of making pictures.
You really mean
Well,
that?
of course I mean it. Grease paint, hairdressers, fittings, 6 o'clock calls, and those interviews, and those arguments, and squabbling over contracts. Oh, it'll be so wonderful to do what I want and not what some nagging, stupid director tells me.
Darling.
I've hated it for so long, Norman. Darling, I only did it because I wanted you to be a little bit proud of me.
I am proud of you. I'm terribly proud.
Now I'm free at last. You see how much happier I'll be.
Yes? I think you're going to be much happier.
Oh, we'll have a wonderful time.
Wonderful?
We'll have a second honeymoon. Only this one will last forever.
All right.
Where'll we go first?
I don't know. We might start out in the car, what? Drive away from Hollywood in all directions?
We'll across the Rockies.
Not until we get the brakes fixed.
Oh, darling. Oh, it's so good to hear you talking like that.
Are you happy?
I'm terrible.
That's what I wanted to hear. You know what I'm going to do right now?
Now what?
I'm going for a swim.
You're going for a swim,
Yeah,
now?
you know, you put these things off, you never do them.
But, darling, it's winter.
I know. Don't let the California Chamber of Commerce hear you say
But
that.
look how cold it looks out there. Oh, you're a brave man.
I have my moments. So long.
So long, darling.
Wait.
What's the matter?
You mind if I take just one more look at you?
You said that a long time ago. The night we met.
That's right. Remember what else? Remember that I said that you were not just lovely, that you were enchanting?
Yes.
Well, goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, my darling.
Husband of Vicky Lester drowns. Read all about it. Norman, Maine. Vicky Lester's husband drowns at Malibu.
Dear Oliver, this letter will explain why I'm not going to the premiere tonight. A month has passed since Norman died. I can't stay in Hollywood. I can't make any more pictures. Ever.
Has anyone ever told you that you're very lovely?
I'm going away, Oliver. To try to forget what might have been.
You mind if I take just one more look at you?
Everywhere I go and everything I do reminds me of Norman.
Because you're not just lovely. Oh, you're enchanting.
Oh, I can even hear his voice speaking to me. And I can't answer him, Oliver. And tell him how much I love him.
I'm proud of you. Terribly proud. We'll take the car and drive away from Hollywood in all directions. Someday, Esther.
Now, Norman.
Oh, could I be proud knowing that all my love did for you was to make you run away from yourself?
Norman, I want to be with you.
Don't you understand that my work is done? Yours is just beginning.
Norman, I can't go on.
You can and you will and you must.
I can't.
Me, Esther. Oh, for me.
Norman, don't go, darling. Norman. Oh. Miss Green. Miss Green?
Yes? Yes, Miss Lester?
Miss Green, call up Oliver Niles. Ask him to pick me up in a hurry. In an hour.
Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard has gathered one of the largest crowds ever assembled to do honor to a star. The star is Miss Vicky Lester, and she's here beside me with her producer, Oliver Niles. Will you introduce Miss Lester, Mr. Niles?
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are standing in the famous court of the Chinese Theater, which is paved with cement blocks in which great actors and actresses have imprinted their names and footprints for all to see. Standing beside me is Vicky Lester. We are here to pay her tribute at the premiere of her greatest picture. Tell us, Vicky, are you proud?
Proud? Oh, yes, I'm very proud. The stand of this microphone happens to rest on a cement block, bearing the name and footprints of a truly great actor and a truly great man. That's why I'm proud to stand here, proud to bow my head humbly and in adoration. proud to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Norman Maine.
Thanks to Loretta Young, Burgess Meredith, and Adolphe Marger. And thanks to Charles Tazewell for a splendid adaptation. Loretta, it was swell of you to come in from New York, especially to be with us here today. I understand you had a real cold spell back east, too.
It was more than that, Roger. It was the granddaddy of all cold spells. Why, I had to wear woolen socks and mittens all the way out here.
Excuse me for eavesdropping, folks, but I hear that by now pretty nearly every part of the country, from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico and from New York City to the Rocky Mountains, has had a good dose of winter weather. And I guess a lot of us have had a bit of trouble starting the family car, so that we're asking ourselves, what can I do so that my car doesn't act up again and doesn't make me a peck of trouble some cold morning? Well, here's the answer. Easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, fill your crankcase with winter-grade Gulf Pride motor oil. Gulf Pride lets your motor turn over no matter how cold it is. It gives real protection after your motor's warmed up. Next, point 2, get a tank full of Gulf No-Nox gasoline, the new stepped-up Gulf No-Nox that fires instantly, even inside a stone-cold cylinder. Finally, point number 3, keep right on using both Gulf Pride motor oil and stepped-up Gulf No-Nox gasoline. With these two Gulf products, and with the help of the special Gulf Winter Guard service, it's easy to laugh at winter. And now, folks, let me tell you what the Gulf Theater has in store for you next week. It's a rip-roaring farce, and it stars the man you've all asked to hear, Errol Flynn. With him, we'll feature Nan Gray, Jane Wyman, and Alan Hale. Hear what happens when Errol is chased by two beautiful girls. Say, Bud, incidentally, what would you do if you were chased by two beautiful girls? Me?
Yippee! Yeah, I thought so. But Errol Flynn doesn't feel the same way about it. Oh, no. In fact, he really gets himself in hot water. So be sure to listen to the Gulf Theater next week and hear Allergic to Ladies, starring Errol Flynn, Nan Gray, Jane Wyman, Alan Hale, and Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. And so, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, this is Roger Pryor saying good night, everyone, for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer. And reminding you that the Red Cross not only rushes to the aid of thousands of Americans in need in time of floods, earthquakes, fires, and terrible storms, but the Red Cross is also a vital part of our national defense. So join the Red Cross now and tell your friends to join.
Loretta Young's latest picture for Columbia is He Stayed for Breakfast. Burgess Meredith has just finished second chorus at Paramount, and Adolphe Marger can soon be seen in the Hal Roach production, Roadshow. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Errol Flynn, Nan Gray, Jane Wyman, Alan Hale.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you once again to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Tonight, you'll hear Errol Flynn, Nan Gray, Jane Wyman, and Alan Hale in Allergic to Ladies, an original screenplay by Eleanor Griffin and William Rankin.
Say, Roger.
Yes, Errol?
I don't think I'm the right type to play the part of Danny Clark, the confidence man, the slick thief.
Well, I'll help you get into the mood, Errol. Steal my watch.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Oh, go ahead. I won't look.
No, Roger. No, I couldn't.
Well, why not?
Well, I've already done.
Oh, well, now that you're in the mood, let's go again, ladies and gentlemen, with Allergic to Ladies, starring Errol Flynn as Danny Clark, Nan Gray as Vivian, Jane Wyman as JoJo, and Alan Hale as Detective Tim Burnett. I'll play the part of Max, Danny's lawyer. Frank Tours gives the downbeat to Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra, and we're off.
Jury. The state has proved beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Danny Clark, is a menace to the Commonwealth. We have shown how he fleeced this poor, honest gold mining speculator out of $100,000. Society must be protected from Danny Clark, this human vulture, this swindler, this common thief.
Are we going to walk the streets all night?
For $10,000 bail, I got a right to walk the streets. Listen, Max, forget you're my lawyer and give me your honest opinion. Do you think I'll beat this rap?
Well, it looks bad, Danny, unless we can get an angle. The only sure bet is to appeal to the jury's sympathy. Tell me, have you ever done anything good? Well, have you?
Give me a chance, Max. I'm trying to think. What about all them furs aboard JoJo last year?
No, you better leave your girlfriend out of this. I don't think the jury would understand about JoJo. And now, if I could wave a gray-haired mother or a wife and a couple of kids in front of that jury tomorrow, say, we might even get the DA convicted of slander.
And you expect me to get a wife and a couple of kids by tomorrow morning? Max.
Okay. It was only an idea, anyway. Too bad, though. It would have... Say, Danny, look in this photographer's window.
Well, what is it?
Look at the picture of this happy little group.
Oh, say, she's a pretty good-looking girl.
Yeah, two nice-looking kids, too. Now, if you had a family like that, Danny, we'd have a case.
We would, eh?
Yeah, no question about it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Danny. Now, Danny, put down that brick.
Get away from that window.
Oh, now listen, Danny. Oh, gee, Danny, I didn't mean for you to do that. I was just talking.
Well, stop talking and start running. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, was to protect my innocent wife and trusting little children. Here, look at that picture. See the love and the trust on their dear little faces. Well, perhaps I did wrong, but those little mouths were crying out for food. They needed bread. I know you'll understand, ladies and gentlemen.
Wife and children win freedom for swindler. Extra,
Come in. Oh, hello, Mrs. O'Grady.
I'll be taking my back rent and no more of your fancy stories, Miss Clayton.
Fancy stories? I don't quite understand, Mrs. O'Grady.
I'm talking about all them lies you told me. About you not having any money. And about them two kids being your dead sister's children.
Well, they are.
Then just how do you explain this story in tonight's paper? Is your picture big as life? And the two children, too.
Well, what are you talking about? Why, well, this is our picture, all right, but I don't know this Danny Clark. And I haven't got any money, Mrs. O'Grady.
More lies. Then you can get out. Right now. Baggage, and kids. Merciful heavens. What's that?
Helen, what's the matter?
Bobby hit me on the foot with a hammer.
Oh, Bobby, why did you hit your little sister on the foot with the hammer?
Oh.
Bobby, why doesn't he answer me?
Because I hit him on the head with it.
Oh.
I never heard of such goings-on. You'll pack and get out of my house this minute. You understand? This minute.
Oh. Bobby, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I can take it. Say, Aunt Viv, what was Mrs. O'Grady yelling about?
Oh, this newspaper says a certain Danny Clark, a notorious confidence man, has adopted us for a family. Got him out of jail and us into a spot.
Is Mrs. O'Grady really going to put us out?
I'm afraid so, Helen.
Well, look, this Brutus adopted us. Has he got any dough?
And the newspaper says he stole $100,000.
Say, that ain't hay. Why don't we all move in with him, Aunt Vivian.
Oh, yes, but... Say, wait a minute. I think you've got something there, Bobby. If Danny Clark wants a family, why shouldn't he have one? Come on, darlings. Hurry and wash your faces and pack your things. We're going home to your new father.
Now, look, Jojo, why don't you understand? The whole thing was a gag.
Tain't funny, McClark.
Look, I haven't any wife and I haven't any kids.
No, then who's that woman with them 2 kids whose picture was in the paper?
Well, I don't know. I stole that picture out of a photographer's window. Hey, here's the apartment. Hey, driver, this is it.
Wait a minute. Look who's parked on your front steps.
Huh? Well, if it isn't that tired old detective, Tim Burnett, the poor man's Sherlock Holmes.
Danny, that guy worries me. He's always tailing you. Ever since you printed that phony gold mine stock, he's sworn he'll put you behind bars.
What's he got to kick about? He only bought 20 shares. Come on, get out.
Hello, Danny. Hello, Jojo. I was just passing by.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever saw anybody picket a place without a sign.
Very funny. You know, Danny, it was quite a surprise to find out in court today that you had a wife and 2 kids.
Wasn't it, though?
Yes, where did you say they were?
Oh, didn't I say?
Well, not yet.
Well, they're in Colorado.
Yeah, Houston.
Houston? Colorado?
Oh, Houston's her maiden name. She's visiting her mother in Denver, Colorado. You see, I write to her in care of Houston, Denver, Colorado.
I see. Is she still there?
Why, certainly she's there. She just sent me a telegram. Only got it 10 minutes ago.
Is that so? How long has your wife been away?
Why don't you stop playing information, please?
Yeah. Look, Tim, Jojo and I are just going up to the apartment for a drink. Why don't you join us?
Wait a minute, Danny. Don't you know one of the first rules of the force is that we can't take a drink on the job?
Oh, that's so? Well, that's too bad. Sorry, Tim.
Oh, no, as long as you've talked me into it. Maybe I will come up for a minute.
Oh, welcome home, Mr. Clark. Welcome me home.
Thank you, Wonton. Bring some drinks into the library, will you? My special stock.
Mr. Clark.
Yeah? What is it?
She are here, Mr. Clark.
Who are here? I mean, who is here?
We're here, darling. Your wife and children. Surprise?
Well, your mouth is open, Danny.
Come, children. Greet your father in your own little inimitable way. Go ahead now.
Rickety-rack, rickety-rack. Father always wins. Rickety-rack, rickety-rack. Kick him in the shin.
Oh, Danny. Don't make such a fuss about getting kicked in the shin.
Wait a minute, Danny. Didn't you tell me that you received a telegram 10 minutes ago and that your wife was in Colorado when she sent it?
Well, oh, yes, wonderful things, those streamlined buses.
Now, wait a minute, Danny.
Oh, darling, why don't you tell the truth? You didn't want anyone to know I was coming home from Colorado because you didn't want the newspaper men to hound me.
Yeah, sure, that's right. Well, it's very simple, isn't it, Donnie?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Jojo. I almost forgot you were here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is Mrs. Clark. Darling, I want you to meet Jojo, my secretary.
I wondered why your letters all had one-syllable words. Oh, but come, let's have some refreshment. Helen, what happened?
Bobby threw the goldfish bowl at me.
Come here, Bobby, put down that vase.
She started it with her bow and arrow. She shot me in the vestibule.
Why, that arrow couldn't hurt a fly, son.
Oh, shut up, you big ape.
Why, you... Oh, he's cute, isn't he? Now, son, you mustn't talk that way to your father.
And I always say, spare the rod and spoil the child.
What? You want me to pull a rod on a kid that size? Don't be silly. I'll handle this my own way. Come here, you little rascal. Take that.
Ow, Danny. Ow.
And that, and that.
Please, Danny. Oh, you shouldn't have lost your temper.
Well, he deserved it. Guess I know a thing or two about raising children. I've taught that little rascal a lesson he won't soon forget.
Oh, yeah!
Pick me up, Jojo. I've got to think this thing over.
And so the Gulf curtain falls on Danny and Act One. While Danny's busy thinking things over, a young man walks up to your Gulf microphone and offers you a little food for thought. Start offering, Bud.
The recent cold wave that swept the country caught thousands of motorists asleep at the switch. Lots of us woke up and found that we had a hard time starting our cars or that our radiators were in danger of freezing. So, if you haven't yet prepared your car for winter, get Gulf Winter Guard service the first thing tomorrow. Because Gulf Winter Guard service gives you real cold weather protection. When you get Winter Guard service, your Gulf dealer fills your radiator with a permanent type antifreeze that can't boil away. He uses special lubricants in your transmission and differential that keep the gears working freely and easily. He'll Gulflex your chassis so that your car will ride quietly and smoothly. And finally, he'll fill your gas tank with Gulf No-Nox gasoline and your crankcase with winter-grade Gulf Pride motor oil. And believe me, with the new stepped-up Gulf No-Nox and free-flowing Gulf Pride, you've got a gasoline and a motor oil that work hand in hand to give you the last word in quick starting. So don't delay. Stop at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc tomorrow and laugh at winter with Gulf Winter Guard service.
And now the curtain rises on the second act of tonight's Gulf Screen Guild comedy, starring Errol Flynn as Danny Clark, Nan Gray as Vivian Clayton, Jane Wyman as JoJo, and Alan Hale as Detective Burnett. It's 3 weeks later. Danny Clark's adopted family is still in full possession of his apartment, and Danny is wondering if it wouldn't have been better to have gone to jail in the first place. Daily, his life has been made more unendurable by the pranks of little Helen and Bobby, and he's finally decided he can't stand any more. As our scene opens, Danny is on his way to his apartment, resolved to tell Vivian that she and the two children must go. Whistling gaily, he opens the front door, walks briskly down the hall, starts down the steps to the sunken living room, and trips on a toy train that is parked in the middle of the city. Wonton.
Yo, Mr. Clark.
Pick me up.
Yo, Mr. Clark. I'll be there.
Oh. I didn't mind the glue in my shaving cream. I even smiled when the little dears put the number of my room on the elevator shaft. But this is the end. Wonton, where's Mrs. Clark and those two little clucks?
Your little clucks playing in slate. Mrs. Clark on Tellis leading book.
Well, okay, Wonton. Go upstairs and pack Mrs. Clark's things. Every one of them.
No, but Missy...
No, do as I tell you. I'm going out to tell her the glad news.
Oh, hello, Danny.
Mr. Clark to you.
As you wish, Danny.
Now, look here, Miss Clayton. I know the blackmail racket from A to Z, and I'm ready to pay off.
I don't quite understand.
How would you like to get $2,000 cash right on the line and a railroad ticket to Shangri-La?
So you think I'm a blackmailer?
Well, what do you think? I had you spotted right from the first.
No, of course. You see right through everything. No one could hope to put anything over on you, could they?
Yes, and I know the score. By the way, not that it matters, where did you hire the props?
Props?
Those two brats.
Oh. Well, believe it or not, Mr. Clark, they happen to be my sister's children.
Oh, that's a pretty fast answer.
I suppose I should really give you a big laugh by telling you they're awful.
Oh, take it easy. That's laying it on a little thick, don't you think?
And of course it would be quite unbelievable to say that I've been trying to take care of them, and that jobs are scarce, and we were a month behind with our room rent.
Look here. Are you kidding, or are you?
Why, of course. Isn't it the funniest thing you ever heard? You adopted us publicly to save your skin, and our landlady believed the newspaper story and put us out. Well, why don't you laugh, Mr. Clark?
Well,
hilarious, isn't it?
Listen, why didn't you say something about this before?
For the very good reason that you never thought to bring up the subject. Everything's a racket to you, and you sized us up and put us in our proper file. And why disillusion such a smart man?
I guess you think I'm pretty much of a heel.
Oh, Danny, why did you ever steal that $100,000?
I didn't steal it. I was innocent. I was acquitted, wasn't I? Besides, the judge made me give it back.
The next jury may not be so tender-hearted, Danny. Oh, don't you realize the danger you're in? Doesn't it worry you that Detective Burnett's always hanging around and that he follows you all over?
Hey, wait a minute. Does it worry you?
Well,
No, but you don't want to go to jail, do you?
Would you care if I went to jail?
Well, whether I'd care or not has nothing to do with it.
Oh, yes, it has. Gee, Vivian, I guess I have been an awful heel. I just didn't understand. I haven't known many people like you.
Danny, I am worried. What if Burnett should find out you haven't got a wife and 2 children?
Do you know that this is the first time in my life anyone worthwhile worried about me? I like it. I guess I like it so much that if ever I get out of this mess, I'm going to show you that I can do something else besides work a racket. What do you think of that?
I think it's wonderful. But what about Jojo?
Oh, don't worry about her. I'll see Jojo this afternoon and tell her it's off.
Bags all packed, Mr. Clark. Bags all packed.
Well, unpack them.
Huh?
And stop staring.
Yeah. What's on your mind, Danny? What do you want to talk to me about?
Well, you see, it's this way, Jojo.
Did you get that scheming dame out of your apartment yet?
She's not a... No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, she's still there, Jojo. I moved out.
Say, listen, you wouldn't be trying to double-cross me, would you?
Why, Jojo, of course not. Oh, no, don't tickle me. No, stop. No, Jojo, take that gun out of my ribs.
Now, why is that dame still there?
Well, you see, I had to let her stay in the apartment because I couldn't buy her off.
Oh, yeah? Why not?
Well, because I didn't have enough dough. She asked for $50,000.
$50,000?
Well, that's what I said. Hey, do you know who those kids are?
No.
They're the smartest crooks in the business.
Them kids?
Well, sure. Kids? They're midgets.
Why, that's... Midgets?
Sure.
Oh, Danny. Danny, let you and me go to South America.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Why not?
Well, that may call my draft number. Now, look, Jojo,
Jiggers, Danny. Here comes that Dick.
Well. Hello, Danny.
Hello, Tim.
I was just passing by. Yeah, I know.
So do I.
Danny, you know, it is funny my seeing you here. I was telling the missus about you and the kids and your lovely wife. And she was saying as how she'd like to meet with such a happy family.
She was? Well, that's fine, Tim. You'll have to come up to dinner some night, sir. Delighted to have you. Yes, sir. Any night you say.
All right. Tonight.
Well, that flatfoot ought to show up before long. Say, does the salad fork go to the right or the left of the plate?
The left.
Oh, thanks. You know, I was just thinking.
What, Danny?
Well, I was just thinking if we were really married and I'd just come home from work, this is just about what I'd be doing, helping you set the table, wouldn't it?
Home from what kind of work?
Oh, I've been looking around. Say, tell me, do you think I could sell real estate?
I think you could sell anything.
Yeah. You know, you're swell to help me in a spot like this. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything. I want to help you, Danny.
Well, this is the night that'll tell the story. If we can fool him tonight, then he'll let up on me and I'll be in the clear.
I know. We've got to fool him, Danny. We've got to. Here's some more potatoes, Mrs. Burnett.
Thank you. By the way, Mrs. Clark, knowing Danny for so long and never meeting you, I sometimes wonder what part of the country you come from. Are you a local girl?
Well, yes and no.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, yes and no?
Well, you have to live in some places 200 years before you really belong. While in California, you're a native when you've been there 24 hours.
Oh, you're right, my dear. Absolutely right.
Thank you, Mrs. Burnett.
Oh, my. This looks wonderful, Mrs. Clark. What is it?
Well, taste it and see if you can guess.
You know, Tim, Vivian and I were school day sweethearts. As we grew up, we lost track of each other. Then, 10 years later, we met and fell in love all over again.
Baloney, isn't it, dear?
I think so, too. Where were you married, Danny?
We were married in Mexico, a little town called Chianita.
Chitawata?
Yeah, the very next week came the revolution.
Yes, the rebels burned down the courthouse. That's why we have no record of our marriage.
Oh, what a pity.
Just where is Chitanita?
Oh, well, that's what Danny meant by the revolution, Mr. Burnett. It was wiped right off the map.
Yeah. The climate was so bad in that place, why, they didn't even bother to rebuild it.
Applesauce.
What? Oh, yeah, thanks, Wonton.
Tim and I have been married for 15 years. Oh, we had such grand plans. We were going to have 4 children.
Well,
I'm sorry your plans didn't work out, Mrs. Burnett. How many children do you have?
8.
Oh.
Mrs. Clark, where are your children? I'm just dying to see the little darling.
Oh, they're upstairs in their playroom.
Oh, I'd love to meet them.
Call him down, Danny. Go ahead.
Oh, no. They're probably asleep.
Oh, go on and call him.
Oh, okay. Oh, Bobby, Helen.
Are you calling us, dear father?
Yes, Bobby. Come down and bring your little sister with you. That's it. Come right in here, children.
Good evening, Pater.
Good evening, Mater.
Oh, children, this is Mr. and Mrs. Burnett.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Burnett.
You little darlings. Oh, I'm sorry you were taken away from your play.
I didn't mind, Mrs. Burnett. We were playing Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette?
Yes, Mrs. Burnett. Bobby built a guillotine and wanted me to stick my head in it.
Well, what an imagination. That should be fun.
Not with Bobby.
Come now, children. It's time for Betty. Run along now.
Oh,
I'll give you a smack in your face. Come on to bed, you little... I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Danny. This is Max. I just left JoJo, and she's as mad as a cat with its tail caught in a ringer.
What are you talking about?
Well, she said she got to thinking about what you were telling her in the park, and she figured out you were falling for the new dame. And she's on her way up to your apartment, and she set on spilling her works to the Flatfoot.
This is terrible.
Yeah, I know it, Danny, but I couldn't stop her. Well, so long. I'll be seeing you in court.
Yeah, so long.
What happened, Danny? What's terrible?
Oh, that football game tomorrow. The weatherman says it's going to rain. What did you say, Tim?
Did I say anything?
Oh, I thought you said you were leaving.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Well, it's getting late, you know.
There's somebody at the door.
What?
The buzzer. Somebody's buzzing. Shall I open it myself?
Oh, you mean the buzzer? Oh, we have that trouble all the time. Short circuit.
The short circuit's banging on the door.
Okay, Wonton, open it up.
Hello. Thanks, Wonton. You can go back to your ancestors now. Oh, my, what a pleasant little group. And you're just the man I want to see, Mr. Burnett.
Why, you got something on your mind, finally?
You bet I have. Danny ain't married to that there dame and never was. And you know something else? Them kids ain't kids at all.
What?
They're elves.
What do you think I am, a dumb cop? I've been after this guy for over a year. You think I'd let this little affair go on without investigating?
Tim, you mean you know about us all the time?
Why, of course I did. I went down to the city hall and looked through the records. And there it was, as big as life. Danny and Vivian Clark, married June the 28th, 1932.
What? What are you trying to hand me, Flatfoot?
And incidentally, Miss Secretary, while I was investigating, I came across a little item about something that happened in Chicago about 6 years ago.
I didn't have nothing to do with it. I just happened to be in the car with the guy sitting in front of the bank. You see, it was
all right. You just go about your business, and I'll just go about mine. Good night, Joe. Twice.
Good night, you fathead.
Tim.
Yes, Danny.
Gee, I don't know what to say.
Oh, don't say anything. Just be sure to be down at the city hall tomorrow morning at 9. I talked to the clerk, and he'll be expecting you. Well, good night. Come on, Maggie.
Good night.
Oh, by the way, Danny, I'll be sending you a wedding present in the morning. 20 shares of fake gold mine in stock.
All right, folks. All right. Who's next?
We are, clerk. We'd like to get married.
Very well, very well. Your name?
Danny Clark.
And yours, miss?
Vivian Clayton.
Where were you born, Mr. Clark?
Florence, Massachusetts.
Oh, You, Miss Clayton?
Middletown, Indiana.
Bobby broke the ink bottle.
You pushed me. It was your fault.
Hey, you kids, get out of here. This is the marriage license bureau.
Oh, just a minute, clerk. Those children are with us.
What?
Yeah, those kids are ours.
Yours? Well, for heaven's sake, what are we waiting for? You take this woman for your lawful wedded wife?
Yeah.
You take this man for your lawful wedded husband?
Yeah.
With the powers invested in me under the laws of the state, Section 448, Article 392, I pronounce man and wife. Whew, goodness.
Errol Flynn, Nan Gray, Alan Hale, and Jane Wyman. That was a splendid performance. And thanks to Sam Perrin for his radio adaptation.
Oh, Errol, could I ask you a question?
Oh, a quiz, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a slicker for a sticker.
Fancy stuff. Well, Errol, I understand you're an expert swordsman. Is that true?
Oh, far be it from me, but I am a fool for a duel.
Well, Errol, would you give me some lessons in swordsmanship?
Sure. Suppose we say tomorrow.
Oh, great. In my backyard, you bring the swords.
Okay. You bring the first aid kit.
Swell. hey, the what?
The first aid kit.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Well, look, Errol, I just remembered I'm going to be busy tomorrow. I got to tell some people the fable about the stable.
The fable about what stable?
Well, you know, you heard about the man who put a big shiny padlock on the barn door after the horse was stolen. And, you know, that same fellow would probably wait until after his automobile refused to start to put in winter-grade Gulf Ride motor oil. Well, believe me, it's a lot easier to make that oil change right now before you get caught with a lot of trouble and perhaps a big garage bill. So why not drive around tomorrow to your neighborhood Good Gulf dealers? He'll help prepare your car so that it starts easily no matter how cold the weather gets, because he'll fill the crankcase with Gulf Pride, the motor oil that flows freely even at below zero temperatures. And the same Gulf Pride motor oil will protect your motor after it's warmed up. So don't delay. Change to winter-grade motor oil right away, and be sure it's winter-grade Gulf Pride motor oil. Then you and your faithful car can really laugh at winter.
And now, folks, a word about next week's Gulf Theater production. You'll hear Marlena Dietrich and Fred McMurray in Desire, one of the most exciting love stories ever told. A story packed with thrills and adventure. Marlena plays the part of a fascinating jewel thief, and Fred McMurray, well, he's just a guy from Detroit. And what a guy. He takes one look at Marlena, and what do you think he says? Bud, what do you think he says? That's exactly what he says. So be sure to hear Marlena Dietrich and Fred McMurray in the motion picture success Desire. Remember, only the Gulf Theater brings you all your favorite stars, because the Gulf Theater is the star's own theater. The motion picture people donate their talents to the Gulf Theater so that in return, Gulf can contribute generously to the Motion Picture Relief Fund, which is building a home to take care of the less fortunate members of the entire motion picture industry.
Folks, listen to the Gulf Theater next week and hear Marlena Dietrich and Fred McMurray in the comedy romance Desire. Errol Flynn and Alan Hale are now shooting Footsteps in the Dark at Warner Brothers. Nan Gray can now be seen in Universal's A Little Bit of Heaven. Jane Wyman's latest for Warner Brothers Studios is Tugboat Anna. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.